Libra, what is going on? Welcome into the channel. So happy to have you here always. My name is Deborah, owner of Purusha Holistic Wellness, and this is another episode of Purusha Intuitive, where we're going to look at your energy via the tarot, astrology, and any channeled messages that come through. So let's get into it. We're in the midst of Virgo season. We have a lot or more going on this week astrologically. We're ending it with a full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces. Lunar eclipses really kind of force us to look inward, to do some self-reflection. I know that's not fun or popular or whatever, but it's very beneficial when we do, right? Like I was listening to this thing this week and the guy was saying like we all have room for improvement. We all have room to grow, to adjust. And that's definitely the vibe of Maharishi Mahesh. He has this saying that the nature of life is to grow and evolve. And like I said, it brings a lot of benefit, perhaps some peace, especially right now with what we're going through. A lot is changing and reshuffling. And like I said, we also have Uranus going into retrograde this week. So all four outer planets, which deal specifically with our growth, spiritual growth, evolution, those bigger life lessons, etc., they're all in retrograde, as well as Chiron, which is dubbed as the wound healer. And this really just talks about how inner reflection is so important, because if we don't do it, it's gonna bottom out at some point. Not to be honest, you know, I've come across some things. Everybody has a different perspective, different opinion about how things are going to shake out during this time, right? There's a lot going on, and it's setting the stage for some dicey things. You know, it could potentially go downhill really quickly. But there is this law in nature of balance and of harmony, and it's figuring out how we can do that with the least devastation as possible, if that's possible. That might be too idealistic. I have no idea, you know, but that's kind of what we're seeing, not only on a global scale, but an individual scale as well. And I'm a huge proponent of, like, you know, seizing the opportunity for yourself so you can be a step ahead or whatever, right? But that's also why I like to start these readings off with an energy cleansing. Like, I'm ready to get into it, so I'm gonna put this aside, but that's why I like to start off with an energy cleansing, just to set the tone, set the vibe for the reading, cleanse out those places we might feel blocked or limited. It's a really good time to set your own intention as well, Libra, especially if you've come in with something on your heart, on your mind, something you would like Spirit to deliver messages to you around. Definitely give that over. Be open to receive. It's a really great way to personalize these collective readings. I also do personal readings. I offer a variety of healing and wellness services. Readings are one of them. If you want me to look at your specific situation, how it's faring, where it's headed, or if you are just looking for a rebalancing, realignment of self, mind, body, soul, I do energy healing as well as Ayurvedic or holistic wellness consultations. When we're feeling strong, grounded in ourselves, that's really where we're like operating at our best, right? That's where we're able to manifest our happiness, our abundance, our fulfillment. And I would love to support that in whatever way possible. It's also what Virgo season's all about. Just as a side note, I'm sure I'll talk about it. I don't know, I'm all like pumped up right now. So good energy, Libra, I like it. But yeah, if you want to get into contact with me, all the info is in the description box below. All right, with that, Libra, let's get into it. I bless you with pure love and light, pure source energy, pure loving grace. I release anything that is not for your highest and best. Any fears, doubts, insecurities, lack of worth, lack of value, pain, anger, frustration, impatience, overwhelm. Cleanse it and release it from our being so that we may see and understand the messages clearly, and help to make me a clear and open channel for the collective. Thank you, Father God, Spirit guides, guardian angels, Mama Love. All right. So, I really feel this energy, like I said, like kind of, yes, ready to go, or you're excited about something, or you feel like you have like a lot of options, a lot of opportunities in front of you. I'm hearing like, just remember, you don't have to move so quickly. I feel like that's a topical message of just making sure that you're dotting your I's, crossing your T's, because you do feel hopeful. You do feel optimistic. You do feel like there's things 100% that are working out in your favor. And this is so beautiful. Abundance, submission, and education. So I'm seeing this as like, you submitted yourself to learning, to bring awareness, to understanding the ins and outs of something. And it is connecting you with your abundance. I was reflecting on that this morning about how when we shed light on, when we bring awareness to, then we know what to do with it. Or like, then we can figure out a plan, what to do with it, how to work with the energy. But if it's kind of all elusive and in the dark, it makes it really difficult to know which way to go, because there's always infinite possibility, no matter how you look at something. But there's also an order to life, right? There's also natural order. There's also that, like I was talking about in the very beginning, just kind of like that balancing effect. That's why things can seem to swing from one side of the pendulum to the other. And I was hearing for you, Libra, you know, the more emotionally in tune that you can be right now, the better for yourself. Especially with this full moon in Pisces, because full moons bring in manifestations. Whatever intentions we're setting in the new moon phase, full moon is highlighting where we're at, what's going on. It might be bringing in other things to us. It might be bringing in that specific thing we wanted because our energy was so on point. But there is this value of like refining the process in order to connect with what you want. And I feel like that's topically, astrologically, what we're going through. Some of this stuff is painful, right? Anger, aggression, it's like the lower vibrational energies. And we have to also face those things as well. That's part of the awareness. Whether this is within yourself or this is within people, situations around you. I feel like it's both, you know? It looks like, I don't know, because your overarching energy this week is talking about respect. I feel like this is respect for self. It looks like some things were repressed, perhaps. Like sometimes when we don't put voice to what we need to, it leaves us in that state of like a pressure cooker, right? The more things build, the more things get to us, the more upset we get. Eventually that top is gonna blow. And again, like it's not pointing the finger. I think the downside of where we're at astrologically is it is kind of highlighting some of the things within ourselves that are a little bit harder to look at, right? Because just as other people bear responsibility to this, to some capacity, so do we. And there is that need to, like I said in the very beginning, that feels like a strong message for you this week, Libra, is about self-reflection. Is, bringing clarity 100% with the sun as your first card starting off. Again, I don't think this is misplaced anger. It might be righteous anger. It might be justified anger. But there's also this value of how we deliver that. And sorry, Libra, but calm is in your blocked energy. So struggling to remain calm. Maybe being a little, and that ironically was the energy I was picking up as we were walking into this reading, like just on the go. And it's great. We can accomplish so much. Aries energy, you're coming in as the emperor, like getting shit done is what I'm hearing. And in a way, I think that you're very proud of. It's also this value of not letting things fall through the cracks is what I'm hearing. Number one, you could have family in focus. There's a level of respect, again, that I want to pull a card on this real quick before we move forward. Okay, it's like how you are getting your respect, right? Because here's the thing, even if we are right and we do explode at someone and it is justified, or we say biting words, you're air sign. So mentally, intellectually, verbally, the way you communicate, it can be very sharp. That's why in the tarot, it's the sword suit, right? Because it, you know, those tools that we have can be a double-edged sword. They can be very sharp. They can be very cutting. You know, but again, it's not like you. I think you needed to take a break. I think you are taking a break and putting the necessary time, focus, energy into yourself. And that feels very appropriate. It's also why you're coming in as the Emperor, because you don't want anything to infiltrate that. Emperor, Seven of Wands, is speaking to this desire for you to remain resilient. I don't feel like you love everything, because there's also this element of regret. So we have anger, we have regret shadowing over your reading. And, you know, here's the thing. It feels like, or it looks like, I should say, you're understanding that, but someone else is not. Maybe they are a little bit more, but I don't think that they've come to the same peace about it that you have. You could be dealing with an earth sign, Queen of Pentacles energy, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. You know, like I said, I don't think that they really understand how much they are kind of like on the defensive, protecting the family. You know, they're protecting someone or something. Meanwhile, they're trying to showcase you a different front. I think this is something it feels like you've tried to either like pull your energy away from, or you've worked really hard to create boundaries, or you're trying to figure out how to protect your peace and calm. Maybe you haven't reacted yet. Maybe you're watching someone else react, because they do have the Nine of Wands. And I really love the way this depicts it. Unfortunately, the Nine of Wands is a really tough energy, because it speaks to like being, like having gone through battle, being bloodied, bruised, you know, like basically broken. In the original deck, the dude's like holding on to a stick. He's like hobbling along, you know, whatever. And so it's justified to some extent, you know, but it's making things really hard for you. And I feel like the challenge is, the more you uncover and invest in yourself where you need there to be peace and calm, this person's situation might not be directly attacking you, but it kind of feels like that, a little passive aggressive. And that's where I do feel like it is disrupting. It's disrupting something that feels precious to you. And maybe it is as simple as disrupting your order or the way you want things to go, because again, there is some regret. But this is also, it's the number 23, which breaks down to a 5, which signals change. So unfortunately, the way things are moving is so you can find your peace and calm. Maybe you don't have that right now. Maybe you are able to keep things up and running. Maybe you do have the energy, the capacity, the capability. But at the end of the day, Libra, is it feeding you? And I think that you're trying to find ways to get this certain level of respect, reciprocity in the relationships that you're dealing with. We're all trying to figure out who's who and what's what. Is it really serving us? Is it really beneficial? Is this going to be around for the next year, 5, 10? You know, what could this potentially look like, right? And obviously, it feels best to work with what you have. I think in some ways there's a level of comfortability. It's the quote unquote beast you know. But at the same time, like intuitively, I feel like there's a lot of things being highlighted for you. I want to say red flags. I don't know if you're 100% seeing that, but I feel like situations, dynamics that you're involved in with whoever, whatever this Queen of Pentacles energy is. It could be family. It could be someone who's like family. It could be in a business dynamic, because it is kind of related or connected to your stability. We also have 10 of Pentacles, so you could have money involved to some capacity. So definitely be mindful. You need something to sustain yourself, right? I am taking up space. And so 100%, this is confirming that it's okay for you to focus on you. It's okay for you to make choices about your life that are beneficial to you. I know that I do not need to avoid making others uncomfortable by playing small, right? Someone is having a hard time and they're showing you one thing to your face, but a different thing behind your back, or you're picking up on that. You're seeing that play out as much as it might not be what you want, because again, it doesn't look like this is easy. There are regrets that are intertwined. It's also pushing you into something new. I'm going on an adventure. I know that passion is ignited when I create experiences that excite me. And here's the thing, I feel like this is playing back to this respect component. Especially if you're trying to get respect or have this person situation see you as whatever and they're just not, or like they're not getting the message, they're not getting the communication. It's so that you can get out, find people, situations that do, right? Like, who really wants to be in a relationship with someone that doesn't respect them? And that's exactly what this feels like. And I feel like you know this. I feel like there's hints around this. It's a hard detachment to make because it does involve you taking a risk. And that's exactly what this says. I'm going to take risks. I know that my dreams are bigger than my fears. It's hard to step out of things that we love, that we know, that are comfortable. Our brain doesn't like it. It's hardwired to pursue comfort, right? But at the same time, when we do, it's the adventure, it's the excitement, it's the magic, it's the way we empower ourselves, it's the way we connect with things we like never thought were possible. And the energy that I was feeling from you at the beginning of the relationship was all, or reading, sorry, was all that. It was like ready to go. Like, I'm excited for life, possibility, etc. And I feel like it's just kind of getting clear on what that realistically, practically looks like. Even if it does mean that you have to make some hard choices, decisions. It doesn't matter that you're resilient. That's great. Good on you. That's an awesome trait to have. But don't let it put you into a situation that, like, you know, affects your stability, is what I'm hearing. So I hope this message helps. I hope you found messages that resonated for you here, Libra. Definitely drop comments below. I love to hear, or just say, hey, share in a little love, a little TLC. I so appreciate all the love, all the support to the channel. No, it blesses my heart, and I'm sending love and blessings back to you.